What's going on, everybody? Trifles in here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Wrench. Today we have the latest release from Old Forester. The Old Forester 1924, 10 years old. This is the latest release to the Whiskey Row series, adding a 10-year age-dated bourbon to the lineup. The caveat is that it is much more expensive than the other ones. 1924, 10-year age stated, and retail of about $115 if you find a store that will do that. But like all things allocated slash hyped slash whatever, if you find it, it's usually much more expensive than that. In 1924, Owsley. That's a great name. Owsley Brown took barrels of whiskey with different mash bills to a warehouse on Howard Street in Louisville, Kentucky, and bottled them as Old Forester. This 10-year-old expression honors the 100th anniversary of this occasion. Awesome. 10 years old, 100 proof. How does it taste? You know what I'm saying? Is it worth the price tag? That's what we care about. So I'm gonna tell you guys what I think of it, how it smells, how it tastes, and is it justified with over $100, okay? The other bottles in the Whiskey Row series, let's just take the 1920 for an example. 60 bucks, 115 proof. That's like the benchmark of pretty much all bourbons, even their own. I would say that's the benchmark. So if you can't beat it at that price, then you need to go back to the drawing board, okay? All right, let's get into this sucker. How's it smell? I will say, okay, so clearly I've been drinking this a little bit. I opened this up during my previous live stream and gave an initial rundown of it, a breakdown, what I thought of it off the neck pour. And before I made this video, I wanted to let it get some time so I can accurately and confidently judge it when it ultimately fails the wrench scoring system, okay? I will say though, if you watch that initial review that I did of it during that live stream, the nose has gotten better, which is kind of crazy. Before I really liked the nose. Now I think it's getting a little less oak intense, a little more of the carameliness is coming through. But like most other Old Foresters, you know, I typically get this banana note, all this stuff. Not really going on here. It's just a lot oakier, dark chocolatey, more in that realm of things, whereas some of the sweetness is kind of being overshadowed by the age, the 10-year notes that you're getting on there. But I don't buy stuff to smell it. How's it taste? I will say, for being 100 proof, it does have quite a mouth tingle. Like, it's not like it's the mouth feel in the sense of, man, it's just creamy, all this texture. Not so much as that as it does, it's like, it does make my tongue feel like it's over 100 proof, which I feel like typically things that are age stated like this do the reverse. So there's that. Whatever that means. Right up front, you're hit with like tannic oak, so kind of that drying thing, kind of black tea, notes like that right up front. And then it transitions kind of into this more, you know, a little bit of this caramel-y thing, but then you're slammed with like leather notes on the back end, and then it stops. Halts. So it's like we haven't finished. That's what she said. I really do think this is one that you have to keep going back to. You have to sit with it. You really have to let it evolve in your mouth. Let it evolve in the glass. Let it kind of develop. Let it get some air in it, and then start looking for the notes. I do think there's a lot going on. That's the thing. I think a lot of us just kind of want to just dive right in, give it to me, baby, all in one go, then I want to go get another glass. You know, that's how I drink, okay? I think this is something you got to sit with for a bit and really look and decipher and do all of, you know, the fancy things. This is one that I sit there and want to chew and really let it coat the mouth. I typically don't show you guys me doing that. I just cut to the chase, and that, you know, is what I got out of that whole segment. But typically don't show you guys me going through the motions, but this is one that I like to sit, I chew it, let it coat the mouth, really pick apart the flavors that I'm getting, the residual flavors, all of that stuff. The more I go back to it, I think those notes are definitely just something, it's the same thing that was on the nose. I think there's a lot of oak and almost like black tea, some sort of tea. Like, I've never even given that note. What the heck? Peppery spices, all of that type of stuff. Then it transitions into, I think, some leather notes, tobacco notes, and then the finish. So basically at the back of the tongue down, it's just gone. The residual leftovers, getting a lot of char, barrel char, a little bit of oak. Tiny, like there is some dark chocolate in here, some like cooking dark chocolate. I don't even know the different ranking of dark chocolate, but not the sweet kind, okay? You know, it's good, okay? It's definitely good, don't get me wrong. I think the hesitation, okay, we're just gonna jump right into it. Is it worth the price tag? No, the hesitation's definitely coming from the fact that this cost me $115 plus. I just think the notes that you're getting, while they are good, we have to look at this. I mean, come on, we're bourbon drinkers. We want to drink bourbon. We want to be able to go to the store and get bourbon. There are bourbons out there. Let's name a few. Knob Creek 9-year is 100 proof, and it's well below this price. It's like 40 bucks. Russell's 10 is 35 bucks. Eagle Rare, while some people can't get it as easy as other people, it's whatever the price it is. It's all over the place, but it's cheaper than this. I mean, we can keep going. Knob Creek 12 is like 60 bucks, 2 years older. Henry McKenna 10, bottled and bond 100 proof, cheaper. Bullet 10-year, cheaper. Widow Jane 10-year, cheaper. 10 Cup 10-year, 10 Cup 14-year. Knob Creek 15-year, Knob Creek 18-year. Well, that one's probably more expensive, but I'm sure this is marked up to that price. You see where I'm going with this? You know, I get what they're doing. I get that they're doing this whole thing of, well, it's, you know, $10 per age, per year. I just think that's kind of irrelevant nowadays. I think that used to be a thing, but I think they have the power, they have the warehouse capacity, they have everything they can to do that and bring it to the consumer cheaper, especially judging by how all of these other people freaking do it. Another thing too, all of the other Whiskey Row series lineups, like $50, $60, they are all as good, if not better, than this, and for half the price. So it's kind of like, what even is the point of getting this one when I could just get two 1920s? Get a 1910 and a 1920, and it's cheaper than this one. I really think they're just kind of competing with themselves. They're like, well, this is an age-dated thing. It's got to be more expensive than, let's say, 1920, but we can't price it. It's got to be less than Old Forester Birthday Bourbon, which is, they're usually like 12 years old. So I think they're maybe playing off the hype of Old Forester Birthday Bourbon really being their only true age-stated bourbon, that people are going to be hyped about this and go buy it, and they're going to rake in all this money. There's just no way that they can keep this bottle at the price it is. Just there's no way the consumer is going to continue to buy this stuff. I just don't see it. It's overpriced for what it is. It's totally different from the other Old Forester products. I will give it that. I'm not getting the banana note. I'm not getting some of those fresher vibrant notes. You're getting some age, and I applaud them for doing something different. But it should be in line with the other bottles in the lineup, like $80 max. I'll say it. I mean, that might even be too much for me. I think this is in the realm of 60 to 70, and 70's just me being nice. I think 60 in line with like Knob Creek 12 year is where this should be. Okay? I mean, seriously, there's nothing about this that makes me say yes for $115, and that's if you can find it at all. And two, when you do find it, if they're selling it for retail. I've seen people say, oh yeah, I found one, it's 150. I found one, it's 180. Don't do that, okay? There's too many good things out there to be, let's call it it is, scammed by the distillery. I get it. I think they probably thought, let's take advantage of it. People are gonna see the age statement and they're gonna freak out. And they did. But I think what's gonna happen is, like all things that are completely overhyped, they get it and they're like, dude, that ain't it. And there's not gonna be any resell. There's not gonna be any rebuyers. They bought it once, they got burnt, they'll never do it again. So they need to drop the freaking price. Here's the thing, guys, I can just ramble on and on and on and on and on about it, but fact of the matter is, we got to answer the basic questions of bourbon, okay? I don't care anything about where it comes from, who it is, what it's done, blah, blah, blah. How does it taste, and is it worth the price? And I think this tastes good. I think this needed to be in the lineup. I think it fits perfectly in the lineup at a different price. I think this is severely overpriced. I think, ballparking $60 to $90, and that's just looking at the market. No way this tastes like it's over $100, let alone $115, let alone $150. Don't get FOMO. There's so much stuff on the shelf right now for cheaper, same or older age statement. Just don't do it. Don't get the FOMO, people. Hopefully in the future, they will see that no one freaking cares about this and they won't spend $115 on it and they will reflect on the price, but highly doubt it. This is probably what we're stuck with, 115 bucks. Sorry. Better luck next time. So there we have it. That's my unbiased, honest freaking review of Old Forester 1924, 10 years old. Save yourself some money. Try it at a bar and be happy that you didn't get the FOMO and went and dropped 100 bones on something that's just good. Come on, people, go get a 1920. Go get an Old Forester single barrel proof. You'll be happy. Call today. Drink that. You'll forget about this one. Until next time, I'm Trev Wilson. I will see you guys in the next video.